Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to dive into a question, a really big one, that's been bugging philosophers for, just about 2,400 years. It gets right to the heart of what we even mean by good and evil.
So, here it is. Is something good just because God says so? Or does God say it's good because it is good, all on its own? This is the Euthyphro dilemma, and wow, it has kept people arguing for centuries. It really makes you stop and think, right? Where does morality actually come from?
And believe it or not, this whole massive debate kicks off with a simple conversation. Picture this: ancient Athens, a busy marketplace, and our main man Socrates runs into this guy named Euthyphro. And that one chat, it lit a fire that's still burning today.
So, let's get into it. The original conversation, well, it didn't really resolve anything. Classic Socrates, right? He basically cornered Euthyphro, who walked in thinking he had it all figured out, and left him totally speechless. Euthyphro just couldn't give Socrates the clear, universal definition he was looking for.
But, and this is a big but, Socrates' student, a guy named Plato, he couldn't let it go. The question totally haunted him, and it pushed him to come up with an answer that was, frankly, revolutionary.
Okay, so what was Plato's big idea? This is where we get into his brilliant and kind of mind-bending solution, the theory of forms. The idea is this: behind every concept we have, like justice or beauty, or even something as simple as a circle, there's a perfect, eternal, unchanging version of it, a form. And Plato says these forms aren't just ideas in our heads. No. They are the ultimate reality, existing in this other perfect world.
Think of it like this. Plato basically splits reality in two. There's the visible world we see and touch, but he says that's all just, well, it's like a shadow puppet show. It's fleeting, changing, a bunch of imperfect copies. The real reality, the intelligible world, is where the perfect forms live. And that's the realm of true knowledge, not just opinion.
And boom, this is how Plato solves the dilemma. The gods don't just make up the rules as they go. They command things because those things are good. And why are they good? Because they participate in this higher, perfect form of the good. It's an objective standard that even the gods have to look up to. Pretty clever, huh?
Now, this is all pretty abstract stuff, and Plato knew that. So to help us all get it, he used some amazing analogies. Let's dig into the first and most famous one, the analogy of the sun.
Okay, so think about the sun in our world. It gives off light, which lets us see things, right? And it gives off energy, which lets things grow. Well, Plato says the form of the good is like the sun for that other real world of forms. It gives off truth, which lets our minds see or know the other forms. And it gives being, which lets the other forms even exist in the first place. It's the ultimate source of everything.
And that's why he says this in his book, The Republic. The good isn't just one form among many, it's on a whole other level. It's what makes everything else possible. It's the king of all forms, you could say. Then he gives us another mental tool, the divided line. It's basically a map for our minds. It shows the journey from the bottom, where we're just seeing shadows and mistaking them for reality, all the way to the top, where we can finally grasp the forms themselves through pure philosophical understanding.
So you might think, okay, that's Plato. But this whole thing didn't just end there. Not even close. When Christianity came along, the Euthyphro dilemma got a second life, and it created a whole new set of puzzles for theologians to wrestle with.
The debate basically split into two big camps. On one side, you have divine command theory. It says, hey, something is good simply because God commands it. End of story. On the other side is natural law theory, which says, nope, God commands something because it is good, and that goodness is a reflection of God's own perfect rational nature.
And man, this argument raged on. You can see how it just kept popping up throughout history. You've got Aquinas and Occam going at it in the Middle Ages, then Leibniz brings it into the modern era, and even Kierkegaard is wrestling with it in the 1800s. This question just refuses to die.
Take Leibniz, for instance. He had a really sharp point. He said, look, if good just means whatever God happens to will, then when you say God is good, what are you really saying? You're just saying God wills what God wills. It's a circle. It makes the praise totally empty.
But then you get someone like Kierkegaard, who takes the other side and just runs with it. He looks at the story of Abraham being commanded to sacrifice his son, Isaac, and says, whoa, sometimes faith might demand something so radical that it goes beyond our human ideas of right and wrong. He called it a teleological suspension of the ethical. It's a terrifying and powerful idea.
So, what does all this mean for us today? Well, the core debate is still very much alive.
It's the tension between moral realists, people who think goodness is an objective thing in the world, and voluntarists who think it's all about someone's will or choice. It forces each of us to ask, what do I actually believe? What are my own morals built on?
And maybe that's the real point. The enduring power of the Euthyphro dilemma isn't about finding one final, simple answer. It's about the act of questioning itself. It's a powerful reminder of what Socrates died for, the principle that the unexamined life, well, it's just not worth living. It's a call to keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep examining for ourselves.